Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you been? How's it going? I'm gonna need y'all to say two letters for me right now. Say them with me. UI. User interface. It's probably one of the most important things when it comes to video games because that's how you access playlists. That's how you access like your skins. That's how you access your career and like your leaderboards and stuff. So when it comes to UI, you want to make sure that all your UIs are like super not cluttered, really easy to use because surprisingly, UIs are a very make or break thing. Some people, if the UI is too complicated and they don't know how to like play or they don't know how to invite some of their friends, they will kind of just hop off the game just because it's not worth the effort when you can just hop on another game that's so much easier to work around and then boom. And in my opinion, I don't really think simple is necessarily good. I do think that each game kind of needs a good, unique UI that kind of gives it its personality because then, although they will all look the same, so they'll all technically be like quote unquote clean, they're all just going to be cookie cutter UI menus and it's going to be like kind of weird, especially because not all games are the exact same. Some have different character selections, some have different skins, some have different ways to access their guns. So it's kind of weird how they would all try to be the same, but the game itself doesn't work the same. For an example for me of a good clean UI would be Overwatch. So Overwatch 2 basically kept the Overwatch 1 UI. It's super simple. It has everything on the left side of the screen in big letters. It says play, heroes, blah blah blah. The only addition that they added for Overwatch 2 is just the Battle Pass tab, and that's obviously because Overwatch 1 didn't have a Battle Pass. But even the UI in the menus is good. So when you press play, you'll see all the playlists that are available that you can play. When you press the heroes, they're all going to be there. Everything is at the top of the screen when it comes to labels. So when you press on the career on the top, it'll say career, achievements, all that good stuff in big, nice, clean letters. And it's all in the exact same spot. So you're never going to get confused and you're never going to not know where to find your stuff. In my opinion, Overwatch 2's UI is probably the best example of clean and simple, but kind of unique. What makes it unique is definitely going to be the backdrop. Like each one is going to be different. So I know that they have like a Kiriko backdrop, they have a Sojourn backdrop, they have a bunch of stuff playing in the background that's kind of unique, and that's kind of what gives it its own identity. Even though the actual list itself on the left, where like the UI, it's simple, but I think it makes it work. I do know that a few games have come out or a few games have made UI changes that some people have complained about. I don't really like to complain about UI just because it's super simple, but I do know the main game for me that definitely made a UI change that kind of had me scratching my head was definitely Valorant. So Valorant has had the same UI since its release in 2020, so 2 almost 3 years at this point. And it's always been super simple. It's always just had everything at the top, and you can click everything. So there's the home, there's the battle pass, there's the play, there's the career, and there's the store. So everything is in big letters, and everything's at the top of your screen. Everything's all together, so you're not gonna have to go digging for what you need to look for. Recently, they changed the UI, and I can see how they were trying to maybe simplify it or maybe just make it easier and more of a basic main menu. But I think that's kind of what ruins the identity of Valorant, especially because, like I said, they've been using the same UI for 2 years. There's no really need to change it. I also find it a little weird that even when you like press play, so it takes you to the menu where you would queue up, at the top there's still the home tab, which will take you back to the main screen, and there's also the store tab on the right side. That's kind of like, eh, it's like, I don't know. It just kind of threw me off because I feel like if you're just gonna keep those tabs, then you wouldn't need to change the entire UI. It would just be the same. And I do know that some people have said that Valorant are trying to copy Overwatch 2's UI, which is why they look so similar because they kind of do. But I'm sure that the Valorant devs and like whoever's working on the game has probably been working on this for a while because obviously it takes a long time to implement this kind of thing. But I do think that in my opinion. I do think that the way that they rebranded it and like the way that they changed the letters and like how the game looks and like finding a game and all that good stuff, those UI changes were really good. I think if they would have just kept their original main menu screen where everything was just on the top, but just updated their fonts and stuff how they do now, I think it would be a way better UI change. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a game dev. I kind of find it confusing. It's a little weird, but it's a workaround. As long as there's like a big ass play button and then queuing up for a game is as simple as that, then I personally don't mind. I will say, with Modern Warfare 2 coming out, I've played a little bit of it. I really like how clean, sleek, and non-cluttered the main screen UI is. So whenever you load up, the middle of the screen is completely blank. So whatever's going on in the background, if you have like character design, if there's guns that you're like showcasing, you'll see them. The playlist, there's going to be the featured playlist on the bottom, and then if you want to look through something else, you can just scroll down, and it's really just very picturesque where you scroll and you just see everything you need to see. I think that's really nice. That's like really super simple, and the way that they made it so that you can edit the playlist, I also really like. It's super simple. You can just hover and then click edit, or you can like press the button on your keyboard that will edit it for you. I like the way that they do the settings. The settings are super clean, and the way that you access your create a class and the operator list is really nice. The one complaint that I have is that the gunsmith and the perk UI is kind of weird. I will admit that the last time I played a Call of Duty consistently was Cold War, which I know is a little bit old, and the way that they did the attachments is obviously going to be different than how they've done it in the past. I don't know how they did it in Vanguard, but the way that they have it so where like you have to pick your gun and then go to another menu to do attachments in the gunsmith, in my opinion, is like a little weird. That's kind of like an extra step that you don't really need. And the way that the perks, I'm not going to say it's the UI, it's definitely the perk system. The way that they have it with the perks coming in like packages, and then you have to like learn the everything else that's going on is a little weird. But I don't think that one's a UI issue. I think that's just a game issue. It's not an issue per se, but it's just how the game works now with like how their perks work. Like I said, the main complaint for me is definitely just the way that the gunsmith and like the create a class system works. The UI looks a little bit funny, and how you have to click around and kind of like look for how to create the class and all that good stuff is a little weird. But it's not a make or break deal. For me, Call of Duty is definitely just a load up, run around, shoot things kind of game. So I'm not delving into, if I'm having an issue with something like that, I'm just going to hop off the game. I can literally just play with like the regular default classes. I don't really mind. But aside from that, I think the Modern Warfare 2 UI is like super clean. I will say those are the only two to three games that I've been playing very consistently recently. So I'm not sure if there's any other games that have had big UI changes or if their UI is just really good. If you guys do know any, or if you guys play any games that you know has a really good UI system, you can let me know in the comments and I'll give it a look myself, just because I want to see how people's standards of UI is when it comes to different games. Because I know obviously different games are going to work differently, like I said before, because the menu and the UI of a battle royale is not going to be the same of a story game, and it's not going to be the same of like a competitive shooter. So there's always going to be those differences. So I just want to see what everyone thinks is a good UI, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's the end of my rant. I kind of just wanted to talk about it because I've seen a little sparks of conversation coming up about UI, and I just wanted to, I guess, throw my 2 cents out there. I appreciate you guys listening to my rant that literally had no purpose for like, I don't know how long this video is going to be, like 9 minutes. If you liked it, like the like button. And if you want more weekly entertainment, background noise while you're washing the dishes, oh no, I have to walk my dog and I have to put my phone in my pocket audio, subscribe. There's a red button that says subscribe. If you press that, I'll every time I upload a video, you'll see it. That's fucking technology, man. That's fucking nuts. But yeah, that's all I have for today, I guess. All right, see y'all later. Bye-bye.